Greetings and welcome to Sanctuary. What exactly constitutes a good build in Diablo 4? I think we can all agree that a good build must be effective against trash mobs, clearing them very fast, but at the same time, it should also be very good versus bosses and elites. But is this everything that one should consider in his build? Very often people have the tendency to focus only on the damage and partially or completely ignore the defensive aspect of their builds. And speaking of defense, I suppose all of you will agree that having a lot of life, armor, resistance or damage reduction, you name it, will be also very useful in more or less every build. However, this is self-evident and quite frankly, you get those by simply leveling up and getting better gear. What many people miss to realize is that most of the cases, what will get you killed in a boss or elite fight is not the fact that you don't have enough armor or HP or the fact that you don't deal enough damage yourself. It is the fact that in the majority of cases, you're going to get stunned or frozen, or in other words, what kills you is the crowd control effect. And in Diablo 4, there are few ways to remove all of them, all crowd controls, or receive immunity to them for a short duration, and those ways are becoming unstoppable or becoming immune. In my opinion, it is absolutely paramount to include at least one skill or aspect with unstoppable or immune effect in your build. First thing first, I want to clarify the main difference between immune and unstoppable. For immune, Blizzard gave us the following description. Immune characters cannot be damaged and all negative effects are removed and prevented. For unstoppable, we have this. Unstoppable characters have all crowd control impairing effects removed and prevented. So in a way, immune is unstoppable on steroids, but they both can save your character in a difficult situation when it is absolutely necessary not to get stunned, frozen, etc. Now let us see how many skills that grant you unstoppable or immune you can find in each class. We will start with the easiest class for that matter, Necromancer. Sadly, the Necromancer doesn't have a single skill with unstoppable, but he does have one skill with immune, the Blood Mist. There is another way to become immune, but it depends on an aspect, the protecting aspect, which by the way works for every class. On that note, the only way to become unstoppable with Necromancer is to use appropriate aspects such as the eluding aspect, which gives you unstoppable once you become injured, or in other words, if you drop below 35% life. Probably once the game is released we will find out more. The next class on the list is the Sorcerer. She actually has a way to become unstoppable, and this is via her teleport skill. Also, if you have a snow veiled aspect, you will become unstoppable for 3 seconds after using her ice armor skill. In terms of immunity, the Sorceress doesn't disappoint. We have the flame shield and the deep freeze skills. So in a way, if Sorceress is your class, you have some pretty decent options. In case you decide to play Barbarian, you must keep in mind that you have just one option for immune, and that is the protecting aspect which I mentioned earlier in the video. Barbarians don't have any skills that make them immune, sadly. However, this class has some skills that make him unstoppable, such as Charge and Wrath of the Berserker, so definitely you have options to remove the crowd control effects if your character gets caught. And we got to the Rogue. This class is extremely squishy, so it is very important to be able to remove movement impairing effects. For instance, if you fight the Butcher and you get stunned, you will most probably won't survive if you're not able to resist or dispel the stun. Sadly, the Rogue has no skill that has immune. He has, however, a few ones with unstoppable: Shadow Step, Concealment, and Prime Shadow Clone. Any of them can be used in order to make your life easier inside Diablo 4. And lastly, we have the champion in this area, the Druid. The Druid has one skill that makes him immune, Lacerate, but this is not all. On top of that, he has 3 more skills that make him unstoppable: Enhanced, Earthen Bulwark, Trample, and Prime Grizzly Rage, which basically mean that in his bear form, he will be almost impossible to stun or kept at distance. Anyways, if you choose to play the Druid, you must know that he has what it takes to survive. And on top of everything, you have plenty of options to become either unstoppable or immune. I will end up the video on the following note. Everything that I told you so far is based on the skills and aspects we know from the beta version of the game. I didn't want to include the Paragon trees despite the fact that some of it has been already leaked, so it is perfectly possible that each class will have some extra ways to become immune or unstoppable. The whole point is that you must be aware of it and include such type of skill or aspect in your build. It will make your life inside Diablo 4 much safer, as I mentioned earlier. This is going to be all from the video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, as many other similar videos will follow. See you in Sanctuary.
Perfect.